Hey, good morning, boys and girls. So today's lesson is for Thursday, the 16th of April. And it sounds like everyone picked up their packets over Monday and Tuesday, so that's great. Good job for you guys, and hopefully you're able to get started on it without any big issues. If you do come across any questions, have your parents shoot me a message through Blooms if you need me to show you how to do something or explain a lesson or activity to you. I can always make a video for that as well. Okay, so building on what we were talking about yesterday, we were talking about our vowel teams, and we talked about the ah sound. So AW is one of those vowel teams that we know makes the ah sound. So when we're marking up those words, remember the first thing we want to do is we want to tap it out. We want to clap it to find out how many syllables are in it. And whenever we're tapping out a vowel team, remember that vowel team only gets one tap, even though it's two letters. So for claw, we have k, l, and then I take my two fingers and I put them together. That represents the A and the W. It gets one tap, but it's two fingers put together. So k, l, aw, claw. So 3 taps for 4 letters. And then we clap it out, claw. It's a one-syllable word, which means it only has one vowel or one vowel team in it. We do a scoop for it. C and L, those are blends. They're not digraphs, they're blends. So that means each letter is going to get its own tap. And at AW, we circle it and put a D underneath it because it is a double vowel team. So for squaw, and this one, ah. Now let me see if I can get all of those on one hand. Ah, squaw. So we have one syllable, let's clap it, squaw. We scoop it. We have that S, that Q, U are those buddy letters. So we could technically circle it, but I'm not going to just because we don't want to take away from our vowel team. We circle the A, W. In this case, this is one of those exceptions because it's a one-syllable word, but we have a couple vowels in there because the Q and the U are buddies, so they're going to go together all the time. Squaw. We still circle the AW for that double vowel team. In yawn, we're going to take our 2 fingers and put them together for one tap for AW, that yawn, yawn. So that all sound, one syllable, we clap it, yawn, we scoop it once, we circle the double vowel team, we put a D underneath it, okay? That's a pretty simple one to mark up because we don't have any blends or digraphs in there. And that's how you mark that one up, okay? So, like we talked about the other day, think about some of those words that may have AW in it. See if you can mark some of those up at home, okay? Maybe your mom or dad or grandma and grandpa could give you some examples as well. All right, over here, you and I were talking about tracking and recording data. Remember, data is information that helps us to answer questions. Well, up here, you'll see that we have months. We have February, March, April, and May. And over here, we have a level of books. So 8 books, 7 books, 6 books, and 4 books. So Cambria was at home, and she's been reading books at home since February. And we decided to track her information. So on my, this is going to be a bar graph. Remember, bar graph, we're going to make those lines that look like those long big bars. So down here on our bar graph, the information we have is we have February, March, April, May, and we have numbers starting at 0 and going all the way to 11. Now there's 3 things we need to first fill in. We need to give this thing a title. So if we're talking about the books that Cambria read over these 4 months, we could make it simple. We could just simply say So books Cambria read in this case. So over here, we're going to label it as far as what information it's telling us. So it's telling us about the months. We're simply going to put months. We could put months that she read books, but that's probably too much. We simply just need to tell the reader who's trying to solve this what information they're finding on the side. So we'll put months. I know it's always weird to write sideways. That's just how they have it designed. I think it's a silly design myself, but I think the goal is for everything to kind of fit together and not take up too much space. Now, the mysterious part is these numbers. What do these numbers represent? Well, if we go up here, we see 8, 7, 6, and 4. We know they're referring to the books that Cambria read, or there's certain months. So we could say number of books read. Okay. All right, so the next thing we need to do is fill these things in. So for February, we go across and we say, all right, there's 8 books. We start at the 0. We're going to fill in 8 sections. We go down here, line it up. Oh, there's 8. So for March, we have 7. We're going to have 1 less than we had in February. So we'll fill in 7. In April, we have 6. And in May, we have 4. So our goal is to use this bar graph to keep track of information and answer questions. Well, some of the big questions is, well, how many books did she read? Well, we're going to total it up. We could say, okay, I know 6 and 4 equal 10. Okay, and then we can go up here. We can say 10 plus 8 equals 18, plus another 7 gives us a total of 25. So we know that, hey, she read a total of 25 books. If that's a little hard for you to do, you can go through and count it. You can say, okay, I know there's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 total. Another thing we kind of answer is maybe we're trying to figure out how many books she read in certain months. So maybe we're trying to figure out how many books she read total in February and March. Well, we know she read 8 in February and 7 in March. So we can say, oh, okay, I know that 8 plus 7 gives us a total of 15. We could also answer questions like, in which months did she read fewer than 7 books, less than 7 books? So we could say, okay, well, in February she read 8, so that's more than 7. In March she read 7. Now that's close, but it's not fewer. Remember, fewer needs to be less than. In April, she read a total of 6. 6 is less than 7, so in April she read less than 7. And in May she read 4, so that's definitely less than 7. So we could say our answers would be April and May would be the 2 months that she read less than 7, okay? We could also say, what changes do we notice between February and May? Well, we could say we know in February she read 8, in March she read 7, so it's going down by 1. In April she read 6, so it's going down by another 1. In May she read 4, so compared to February, she read 4 less books in May than she did in February. Or if we're talking about 3rd grade math, she read half of the amount of books in May than she did in February. Those are just some basic, simple things that we can answer using a bar graph. It's just another way to track data. Okay, so we're going to jump into our PAS lesson, and we're going to finish our crayons read aloud as well. Okay?